It's a town. Good morning. Happy Monday. So we're just gonna get right into it. I guess Slofi's husband didn't let her go live this weekend, so she's responding slowfully to I think either Thursday or Friday's commentary on her being a junkie. You know, and I talked to my husband just before we start commentating on this, who is a recovering he has fibromyalgia and he was prescribed a plethora of pills, back in the day when it was a lot easier to get them because the opiate epidemic wasn't, it was at its heyday, really, back when he first got fibromyalgia. So it was normal to just, hand out gaggles and gaggles of pills, right? And then he was on those for I don't know how long, and we met, and that's kind of, I would say, like the early 2010s is when like people start cracking down, I guess you would say, especially in LA. And I would say, I don't know about smaller towns, but like like even to this day you can still go get pills in a lot of smaller towns. There's still pill peddlers all over, but LA, they really cracked down. So he had to switch to alternative uses. Now he didn't switch to doing heroin or anything like that, but he started making a tea out of out of poppy seeds, which, if done the right way, you get a plethora of opiates from it. And he started using that. And you know, I met him shortly after that venture in his life, and I, for the first years of our relationship, had no idea. I'm 20 something, and like, and I said it in my last live, as much as I know about drugs and recovery, I haven't really experienced in my personal life like pill heads too much, especially not getting sober ones. I've known plenty of, but none that have actually gotten sober, or not like the clean way, or using like maintenance medication. Like, I've never really known people like in my personal life to do that. I've known people to suffer. I've known people to take different steps of recovery. Which, like I said, when it comes to other drugs like meth and crack, and you don't have the option of a maintenance med. You don't have that crutch, and thank God they do, because that probably saves a lot of people's life, because there is a lot more ODs in the opioid epidemic community, especially with the introduction of this like horrible fentanyl that's on the streets now. So I get it. But it's still the whole principle, which, as we'll hear, Sophie is not grasping, is that at the end of the day, her being an ex junkie or a current junkie or an ex addict or a recovering addict is something that she brought to the internet. And my critique was, if people are going to put information or their opinions, and it was her opinion. And I mean, Brooke says that it's not her opinion, it's medically sound. And you know what? It just depends on what doctor and nurse she talked to. That's what I had said 3 days ago. Anyways, so let's listen to her, because I can't believe she's actually responding to this. Like, I mean, I guess I'm not that surprised, but it's funny. So let's listen.
And then I got a notification.
I wonder what that is. Oh, it's me.
AMZ shared my post.
Oh my God. What did that horrible bitch say? What did that cunt
She
bitch
says,
say?
if you can't handle others' opinions of information you've put out online about personal life, like your sex and use, then I don't know, you could log the fuck off like you all tell Jen to do. If others have opinions, you cry about it like this, which is what you criticize Jen for. Pot, meat, kettle. Bitch. Bitch. You missed the whole fucking point.
Did I?
No, Shiloh, you shouldn't have. I get it.
And bitch, please. Who here has to listen to what they're told and go live when it's convenient for said man? Not me. Not me. Not me. Ames is talking to one person, Kenny, says KK. Well, Well, KK, I'd rather one person, and there's more than one person in my chat currently. And mine just started, and we're about even with viewership. So, you know, anyways.
It, but it probably wasn't the safest thing for you to do, my girl. Exactly, Bliss. That wasn't an opinion. She did not give her opinion on me.
Oh my God.
Being Suboxone.
Do you just know what the crying
That's
about
not
it
what that
aspect
was.
of this
It was
is?
not an opinion.
Or we'll get there. Like I said, I didn't mean we're at 31 now, but we'll get there. 31 isn't that high of a number, actually. This isn't a live about Jen, so she's not getting the viewership as she wants. But greetings, all. Greetings. Good morning, Cooch. Good morning, Irish Jazz. Good morning, Kenny or Kendra. I mean, good on you for finding that. And like I said, I put out my own information plenty of times on YouTube, but you really just can't cry about it. And in my opinion, this is crying about it. Like being mad, and then because in my opinion, you're attacking Brooke because she is a nurse. Anyone else in the community says it, and whatever. But because Brooke's a nurse and everyone has it out for Brooke right now, let's point out that she's, let's make it out like she's doing something like legally incorrect because she's a nurse. Like, again, she's on YouTube like anyone else. And plenty of people get high on Suboxone, Missy Tessa. Plenty of people get high on methadone. What are you talking about? See, this is the problem. This is the problem. Like the people in here that are just continuing to say things that aren't true. There's plenty of people that get high off of Suboxone and methadone. Plenty of people. And that's when it becomes a problem. If it's making you lead a normal life and the side effects aren't affecting your life and getting off of it. Oh, whose dog is that? And where are you coming from? Sorry, the little dog's like walking up. Oh my God, you're so cute. Where's your owner? Just taking yourself for a walk today? It's walking weird too. She's like, I made it. Oh, why do you have a limp? Hey. Hold on. This is scaring me. Hey, sweetie. She had a pink harness on and a collar, but I don't think the collar has anything on it. She's walking like she's been. Oh, here comes someone. She's a little dog. She's all right. Looks like her owner's trucking behind her with a walker. So, oh. Now I don't know what I was saying, so let's continue listening.
Misinformation is not an opinion. Absolutely.
Misinformation is not an opinion.
Right. Who's crying? Not me.
Well, going to the internet and posting about it is crying about it. It is. And then I say something, you cry about that. Like, again, the whole issue is the whole point of bringing up crying about it is that you constantly are talking about things that Jen has said, and like she shouldn't be ashamed, or she shouldn't be shocked that people have an opinion. I mean, my God, you have an opinion about everything. But people have an opinion about junkies and you don't like that. I mean, some of us grew up with them. And also some people so back to my husband who got off of said like heroin tea essentially, which was not easy, completely altered his personality. But then he took kratom, and that was also not long term. That was very short term that I got him off of within the last year. So he never took maintenance medication. I had always asked him about it, but him himself has said that is something that if you use and it gets you sober and you're doing well, then you should be getting off of that as well. And he's right. Like if it's made you live a great life and you're a stable adult, you should have the willpower to probably get off said medication. Now, if you relapse and you have to go back on it, so be it. But why not try to be completely off of everything and your body live in a good way? Because you're taking years off your life being on any prescription long term unless it's life saving. So, I mean, and again, doctors and nurses are on YouTube all the time in chats, like, and they're just medically trained, schooled people who have a plethora of different spectrum of ideas on probably how certain medications work. Because and it's just how the world works. But anyways.
Hey, friendly girl. Good morning. That was not an opinion. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, what anybody's actual opinion is on.
I'm pretty like fired up for someone who doesn't give a fuck. I'm just saying.
My addiction.
Am I wrong?
My recovery. Anything that I have put online. Have your opinion.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys.
In here, we're having
the whole point of it, Amzie.
Huh? I'm not missing the whole point of it. The whole point of what you're trying to do is to make it out that a nurse is giving medical information online. That's not what's happening. Brooke was mentioning how you use maintenance medication and you have for over a decade. And she believes that that's not good. So that is her opinion. She's not writing you prescriptions. She's not interfering with your prescription. So, she's not on some medical board and giving this information and using your name. She's in a YouTube chat where people are talking about addiction or some, I don't even know what they were talking about, but clearly they were talking about some sort of, I don't think she would just randomly say, I don't know. And again, even if she did randomly say like, Sophie's on Suboxone and that's not good to be on long term. Like, again, that's what people do all day long about me, about Jen. People have random opinions that just pop out of nowhere. Imagine if I cried about it every time. Lord, I'd be live all the days.
Okay. Right, Bliss. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the fact that she announces on social media that she is a nurse with all of these letters behind her name makes what she's spreading highly inappropriate. Absolutely.
No, it doesn't. But she wasn't giving medical advice to people. No one was coming to her and being like, what do you think I should do? Selfie Queen says, William, go shave the other side of your head. Did you go in the chat, William? Shut the fuck up, William. You must have went in their chat. I don't think it's because you're in my chat. I would never talk ish on addiction, says JJ Hizzle. I don't need that karma. I have kids, and one day I'll have grandkids, and they aren't immune to addiction or anything that can happen. And anything can happen. That's fine. There's also such thing as manifestations. You should probably not put that out in the ether. That one day your grandkids can be drug addicts. You probably want to hope that that doesn't happen and just like silently say that's weird. But, again, I do talk shit on addiction because I was raised by addicts, and it's great to recover, but it's also great to have common sense. And, if you're still on a maintenance medication because you can't get off of it because you'll relapse, then you're a junkie and you should just own it. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, it's better. It's a better alternative. But at the end of the day, the alternative should be to get completely sober without any medication. I mean, that's what crackheads have to do. Meth heads have to do. There is no maintenance medication for them. So, willpower is also a thing. And there are a lot of people that do get spaced out and sort of high. For sure. The people wouldn't be out there selling Suboxone. My brother has bought in Suboxone. Probably shouldn't put that in the ether, but he has. And I asked him, How'd it feel? What did it do to you? Was it like taking a fucking Vicodin? Or what was it like? And he's like, it was like taking fucking heroin, bro. That's exactly what he said. It was like taking fucking heroin, bro. He's like, I could barely keep my fucking eyes open. I like it. I'm like, yeah, our side of the family is mostly uppers. So I deal with addiction and people like, I mean, my brother just got out of the fucking hospital. Like, and I'd love to ask him if he would like to come on and candidly talk about like being an addict because, an active addiction, like, and how he would feel if someone were critiquing him like they do Jen or they do Lori Jones or any of these other people. I mean, probably will tell you don't give a fuck because I don't think most of them do. And Jen's not an addict per se. That's why she's a little bit different on that scale. Like, I don't think Lori Jones goes and does cry about it straightens. I think people just cover her and she just dances and does her fucking lives her life. Is it the best way to live your life? No. Is she a good person? Probably not. I've never really gotten into that lore about Lori Jones, but just because she looks the way she looks and she's online and her tone is dancing, I mean, she's clearly an addiction. So it's just really odd that they're over there saying, I would never attack someone for being an addict. You would never attack someone in recovery, or you would never attack someone in active addiction, because all those videos you're putting up about her, I would feel is kind of attacking someone with active addiction. And it's not just Sophie that covers her. That Selfie Queen Cindy covers her as well. So, I don't know.
And that's my whole point.
She really waited all weekend for this, huh?
Okay. What she said in that chat was not her opinion. She was stating it as fact. That Suboxone should not be taken long term and is detrimental to your health. That's not it.
There's side effects to every medication. Even insulin has side effects. Like, it's the risks outweigh the benefits for most people. And I really don't think it was that serious.
An opinion. She was stating it as fact.
But what?
Okay. And like Bliss just said, absolutely. Yes. So much misinformation.
No offense, but I've witnessed Amy spread a lot of misinformation over the years. Doxycycline. Penny came in the chat, you fucking idiot. SZA says, no offense, but I've witnessed Amy, whoever the fuck you are, spread a lot of information over the years. She told William the other night that doxycycline was mostly used for dogs. Nowadays, mostly that is what you get when you go to the vet. I have never personally, no, maybe once was prescribed doxycycline, but you have to take it for like a fucking month. It's an archaic ass antibiotic, tetracycline, for instance. That's things that they used to give people 70 years ago, 50 years ago in the 70s. Now we have Z-Packs and other things that I would much rather take. And I've usually been prescribed. Now, every place is different. I'm sure they still prescribe it to people, but it's mostly prescribed to dogs that I've experienced. Tetracycline, for instance, is mostly used in aquatics now. If you didn't know, you can go buy it at a fucking pet store right now in powder form. They just get little capsules. I've known people who have done that back in the day. My mom used to do that. It was like low budget, whatever. I don't remember. My mom used to do weird things. I wouldn't advise anyone ever do that. But I'm not on here saying that anything I say is fact. Everything that I say on my channel is my opinion. Okay? Do not take it as fact. Anything that I say in chats is my opinion. I'm just chatting. So should we shame people that get type 2 diabetes and have to take insulin or a pill? I mean, it's their fault, right? I mean, you could. I guess. My dog also has type 1 diabetes, just FYI. But I mean, a lot of people with type 2 diabetes, it's because they're overweight. So, I mean, diet could change that a lot better than drugs could. And any doctor will tell you that.
Yeah. So much misinformation.
Okay. Like you're giving right now, that
Congratulations,
you
Mommy
should
Goo.
take maintenance medication indefinitely if the doctor allows it. You should never question a doctor. You should never, but okay.
I just started on the MAP program
Sure.
in January, my 69th birthday. Tickled pink to feel like a human again. Congratulations, Mama Goose. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. But she, like, going back to this post, she completely missed the whole point. On purpose, I believe, but
on purpose. Yeah, because I'm not trying to get Brooke taken down for being a nurse and putting misinformation out online. No, it's an opinion she had in a chat. You don't have to be all end all, Powder. Sorry, you're not.
And I tagged Amzi, and I said, it has nothing to do with opinions on my personal life. It is about medical professionals spreading dangerous medical misinformation on the internet. I am not sure what I am supposed to be crying about, but go off, sis.
Posting about it and sounding off as crying about it. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Like,
that's it. Right there, Missy Tessa. That's it. I don't care what treatment you get or for how long. Overcoming the initial addiction is the biggest accomplishment. And that alone, I'm proud of everyone. Absolutely.
Yes, but once you're living a solid, productive life, you should try to get off the medication as well. Is that always possible for every person? No, but you shouldn't be out here like running you should be on methadone or Suboxone forever. And chronic health is a completely different ballgame. Whoever said that in my chat, I get that they prescribe this stuff for chronic health. I get that it's better than being addicted to opiates, 100%. Yes, I called your Powder. Sorry, Powder's sister. It's like, was she gonna get mad and go run in the middle of a field and evaporate? Like, the fuck? It's like, go off, sis. Why is she still talking about this? Because her husband wouldn't let her out of the fucking cage this weekend. So now she's talking about it on Monday morning at like bright and early. I'm so over the nitpicking for content. It's just, I mean, it's like she's like, she mentioned my name without me even being in the chat. Like how you guys fucking do to Jen, like every fucking other day. And I get mentioned. If it wasn't a live where I said something, I bet you all $100,000 that at one point in everyone's stream, I'll start screenshotting it and post it on my community tab. Here it is today. Here it is today. Here it is again in this chat that I just randomly, my name gets dropped. It happens all the fucking time. If I went and posted a screenshot of it I'm going to start doing that. Let's see, like, why I consider it crying about it. Because I don't think Sophie gets a whole lot of criticism. So it's like, you can't take the little bit of criticism you got. I mean, she couldn't even take the criticism over the water dish. Like, she literally, and I think it was either Paula's chat or something, was like, so now that you're not friends, you can apologize about the water dish? And I was just like, yeah, my bad. Yeah, whatever. Like, Jesus Christ, is that, like, it was just like the point of and she missed the point on that one, was that you can't take criticism on anything, even your pet's water dish, without fucking have to post the proof and shit. And in my opinion, that's crying about it. And Brooke wasn't giving anyone medical advice. She was just talking about Sophie. That's an opinion. And she was telling what she's learned. Hold on. Brooke wasn't given medical advice. She was telling what she's learned in her career and what doctors she works with tell her. I'll listen to Brooke over them. Exactly. Gave a cautious opinion based on her educated knowledge. Like, I know, big fucking deal. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think they also dose it a lot different, when you're on it for, and like I said, I even suggest that to my kid's dad. Cause I'm like, kratom is really not good for you. Like maybe you should think of like trying like a really low or microdose of like Suboxone or something like that. But he's managing just now with like regular over the counter painkillers and stuff. But honestly, like no one should have to suffer in pain if you have chronic pain. And I know a lot of times you have to get ahead of it. And honestly, anything is better than being on opiates. Like the minute they cut you off, you're still addicted and you have to go to dangerous avenues, either buying it off the streets or making some random tea from like fucking poppies. Like, I mean, that shit, I've like, you do research on that. Like, just Google it today, like poppy seed tea and opiates. And it's very dangerous. Hey, well, doctors have prescribed Suboxone, opiates, or whatever keep you coming back month after month. They will, of course, be biased to have patients dependent on whatever. Exactly. That's how this country works. Most doctors, that's what another point I made. Like most of these medications they're being paid to push them. So they're not going to try to get you off of them. That's the whole point why this country keeps you sick, is keep giving you pills. So, my goal in life would be to be off of everything. I don't like taking a lot of pills. Hey there. I don't like to, that's just me personally, but everyone's different. And again, what works for you works for you, but people are going to have a fucking opinion. And even my husband, who has chronic pain and has been addicted to opiates, said, yeah, after 15 years, if your life is balanced out, you should be trying to get off of it. And no matter what, recovering or otherwise, you're a junkie. Once a junkie, you're a junkie. Like, people call you a junkie, just stomach it. Like, what's the point of like being offended? That's you, especially if you're putting it out on these communities. Like, of course, people are going to still call you a junkie. I mean, it's just, some of them are going to be nurses. Like, I don't think Brooke called her a junkie, but I mean, it is what it is.
If no one knew she was a nurse, it still would be fucked up spreading what she's spreading. But people know she's a nurse, and there's a powerful indifference, in my opinion, because I believe her words hold more weight. Absolutely, Bliss. Absolutely.
Oh, Lord. Jesus Christ.
So then.
Okay. What happens next? God damn it.
She shares it again.
Oh my God. No, she didn't.
She said again, if you don't like Medical Pro telling you their advice, don't put your info online. She didn't give me her fucking advice.
Well, you're saying that she's giving, okay, what? You're saying okay, medical information or misinformation or medical advice. It seemed the information advice, like, I mean, she addressed you, so she kind of was, I guess. I mean, again, you were not the be all end all of like what she was doing. Let's have Brooke tell us what she was doing. Weirdo.
It was not her opinion on my personal life, and she didn't give me advice either.
She said you've been on it for 15 fucking years, and in her medical experience, that's not a good fucking thing to do. I mean, that's her advice. Am I wrong? I'm like, I know I have like pregnancy brain. So I'm like, am I somehow like, is this me? Like, she's actually making me wonder, like, wait, am I not processing something correctly? Like, stay petty, never malice. Yeah, she probably did it cold turkey. And you shouldn't, I mean, if there are available programs that make it easier to get off of any kind of like debilitating drug, then like, so be it. Like, the whole point is that just some nurses and doctors are going to be on YouTube and they're going to have opinions. but it wasn't like a nurse chat or like a, you know what I mean? It's not like she was like in this like medical chat where they're like having these serious conversations about maintenance medications, a bunch of other nurses, and she's mentioning Sophie. Like, then I might understand her, like, you know, well, it was this medical live stream she's doing, and with all these nurses and doctors, or, you know, let's say a handful of them, and she brought me up by name and said I've been on Suboxone and is putting misinformation out there, or or unwanted advice, whatever. Yeah, and you're also 69, or no, that was someone else in her chat. Never mind, my bad. I don't know how old you are, Lisa Wigger, but point is that, yeah, and that's what matters. And again, you haven't been taking it for days. Even if you have been, you know the side effects. Okay, one of them is like, I know they poke at a bunch of unstable people that are in current addiction, which I don't find that tasteful at all. I mean, I get some of those people they cover are trash bags, but I still don't find it tasteful to like put them on display.
She says, do I need to speak in Southern for you to understand?
I don't think she gets that.
Now, I knew what the fuck she meant by that.
What did I mean?
I said, nah, girl. Speaking hillbilly white trash. Fuck Southern.
Wait, what did I mean by it? I don't think she knew what I meant by it. I don't think she got the...
I was not given advice from any healthcare professionals. A healthcare professional was putting harmful medical misinformation in a chat. Why are you continuing to post my stuff when you have no clue what you're talking about? Oh, right. You have to constantly poke at somebody to feel good about yourself.
That's
Hashtag
rich.
patterns.
Hashtag that's rich. Coming from someone whose channel is littered with just you talking shit about other people to make you feel better about yourself.
Exactly, Bliss. No fucking medical professional should be giving any advice to people they see only on social media. What the fuck is wrong with this chick? Oh my God.
Like, what is wrong with these chicks? Like, this is the problem with like people like this should definitely not be on any medication. They really need to keep their heads clear because they're not functioning at a high level of intelligence. Like, Lord in heaven, it's just verbiage. It is not taken literal. She was just stating her fucking opinion. Like I said, at the end of the day, she was in a chat and she just stated her opinion about long-term Suboxone use. She wasn't putting out misinformation medically or giving anyone medical advice. But if you're getting upset what a medical professional is saying about Suboxone use, then change the channel.
Absolutely, Bliss.
Because at the end of the day, it was just
bless
her opinion.
Fucking heart. That's right. That's right. Hey,
bless
JJ.
my heart. Bless your heart, sweetheart. Clearly have no self-awareness.
They
don't get it. It's because Kira, you know, said that like she used to have to talk to her family in like Southern because it was the only way they could understand her. She didn't know the joke. Like, she doesn't get it. So I know what that meant. What did that mean? Like, what does she think it meant? That's what I want to know. Like, what did she think I actually meant by that? Oh, speaking fucking Southern. Well, you just did, so we good. And again, like I said in my live on Friday, like, I don't need to go live and poke at people like Lori Jones or any of these people that you need to go live about and poke at to make yourself feel good for hours and hours on end. I can just watch you for 10 minutes and then click you off, Sophie, and be like, well, I feel better about my day. Let's go do something. Like, or let me go watch a TV show that I actually enjoy, or let me go like fucking, I don't know, zone out and stare at my wall. Because any of that is more better for my like mental like IQ level and like stamina than listening to this garbage over and over. Like, at least you have something new to talk about today. At least it's not Jen from 4 years ago or fucking Lori Jones and her chonies from like a week ago having a meltdown. Like, you know.
Miss Nikki. So speak Southern. Like, I know what the fuck you're talking. I know what the fuck you mean. Just fucking say it.
What is like, I meant it's really not that serious.
My bell all fucking weekend, girl. All fucking weekend.
All weekend. See, I told you, like, you all weekend you were super upset because people were mentioning their opinion on you being an ex-junkie or a junkie. Because, I mean, again, that's only because you brought it to the internet. At least they're not talking about you being fisted anymore. There's always progress, right? I mean, we could go back to that. I mean, I did ask Brittany about that lately. I could see if she wants to talk about it. Because she doesn't believe it actually happened, but she does say that you did call her crying. So
she's allowed to have and post and say whatever the fuck she wants to say about me.
Whatever the fuck.
And she gets mad when I speak back to her. It's after these two.
Again, I wasn't mad. At no point during this have I been mad. What are you talking about? Like, I found it a little rude that you're like, how would you know anything? It's like, I was raised by drug addicts. I lived in Narcotics Anonymous growing up and like fucking like seeing people at on multiple levels of fucking addiction that you probably have never experienced, sweetheart. So just your own personal advice and your own personal little box that you have of addiction doesn't make you a fucking expert. So maybe you should sit down and stop talking about it. And then people else also will sit down and not be talking about it.
Posts and me responding to them. She goes live. Talks all kinds of shit. You guys know all the same regurgitated bullshit that has been regurgitated about me since 20 motherfucking 23. Same shit. Same shit, different person saying it.
Why don't you play the live and see what I actually said? Just saying, because I didn't talk shit. In fact, I explained how I knew about addiction, but you know, there's that.
Yes, Bliss. Patterns. Hashtag patterns, girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, pretty bird.
Hashtag projection. Hashtag look in the mirror.
Some of us fell headfirst into addiction and had to claw our way out by any means necessary.
That is great. And guess what? I've had to do that too in my past. I'm a recovering addict for over fucking like 9 years. What the fuck ever. Like, congratulations to everyone who's managed to get sober. There's a lot of people that don't. And you guys are on a channel talking about this when you make fun of those type of people and you put them on display and you point out all of and you criticize them, but you give them nothing constructive. Like, you're not telling Lori Jones how to be a better person. You're just pointing out all the flaws while she's in active addiction. Like, I think that's worse than criticizing people in recovery. I mean, that's just my opinion.
No, I didn't watch her live because it's just, you know. But I did get a few screenshots. One of the screenshots was Andrea saying that addiction is a choice. Not always. Not always. Absolutely, allegedly. JJ, because she's bored. You know, Ansi has done this more than a handful of times since 2023, and I've always ignored her.
Have an opinion
always.
of
this
you
is the most
that's on the internet, sweetheart. Like, oh, God forbid. Like, heavens to Betsy or whatever. Like, I mean, you have opinions of people all the time. So again, and I don't think I've ever covered you really. But yeah, go off, sis, or whatever.
I have ever given her today.
You did a live about
Absolutely, Missy
a
Tessa.
month ago.
I have
like crying about it too. So, okay.
doctors and lawyers on treatment. It doesn't discriminate. Absolutely. Hey, Genevra. And that too. Hey, money swipers. How are you, beautiful? Addiction is a disease. Absolutely.
Andrea, you're up to bat.
So whenever I seen the screenshot of Andrea saying that it was a addiction is a choice.
And you don't just fall into
I said
addiction. What are you talking about? Hold on, there's an alarm going off. Why does alarm even exist? Jimmy has to get up by 8:30. Why do you have this alarm? Hold on. Remy's like, turn that off. I'm trying to sleep. Okay. I mean, they think that Kendra went out and chose to get an STD or like, I will say like pill addiction can creep up on you. And especially the way they used to prescribe them back in the day. Yes, especially people with opiate addiction. Like that can creep up on you. You can go from getting a prescription because you broke your wrist to being a full-blown addict because you didn't know it was in you. You didn't, it does sneak up on people. I'll give you that. But as far as most drugs, otherwise recreational drugs, that's a choice. I'm sorry, it just is. Like when I started doing meth, I chose to do it. Knowing that my dad was a meth head, knowing what it can do to someone. Like I was like, fuck it, I want to see what it's all about. And that was a choice that I made. And I didn't realize how addictive it would be. And I was like 16.
Another fun fact about addiction.
Good time.
It's not always a choice. It's not always somebody making a conscious decision to do drugs and end up addicted to them, right?
The minute that you get off that prescription and you go to the street to buy heroin, let's say, because I know a lot of people, like I knew a handful of people in Seattle that had a heroin addiction, like heroin. And it was usually because they were prescribed pills and then they were on them for a long period of time. And then again, early 2010s, 2015 to 2015, they really I feel like the West Coast, just you couldn't get a pain pill no matter what. Like you can't get anything for your like dental pain anymore. Not anywhere on the West Coast. I don't know if that's like nationwide now, but I remember, back in the day when I get root canals, they'd give me Vicodin, they'd give me something, when I'd have my fucking like a molar pulled or something when I was younger. Now they don't give you anything. They like take some Tylenol. And it's like, I mean, unless it's like really, really bad. So, and then the minute you go to the street though to buy that heroin or to buy that fake pill or to purchase Sally's pills because she has extra, you are then making a choice. And it's unfortunate because at that point, I mean, you're not really, I've been an addict, so I can't say that like you want to make that choice. But I mean, at the end of the day, it does have a lot to do with willpower too. I had 2 fucking drug addict parents and I am not strung out on anything. So it's not always genetics either. Definitely skip me and went to my brother. And the only thing I've ever been addicted to is weed and cigarettes. Yeah, and she isn't an addiction specialist. You know, I did go to like school for psychology, and I did want to be a alcohol and drug counselor, and that is still what I probably will do with that degree. I need to get back into school and stop focusing on stupid shit like this. But you know, this is fun right now while I'm not in school and have nothing else to do this morning. So, but I do need to finish mopping because I only did half the house this weekend. But other than that, pretty light on duties today. Not feeling. Yesterday was my sick day. It's like every other day with the pregnancy. Like one day I'll be super active, the next day I'm like I can't fucking move. My whole fucking body hurts. I'm over it. I'm laying down. Need a nap most of the day. But today I feel like I have some energy. I need a coffee though. Um, she did. That's how she kind of came into it, and she was talking about all. That's when she was talking about selling her methadone, and that clip got brought to the surface a couple days ago. And wonder if that gets mentioned. I don't know. Let's listen.
Thousands of people get and have been hooked on prescribed narcotics given to them from their doctor. Even as if taken as prescribed, you can become addicted to it.
Well, yeah, that's what
that's
happened with Michael Jackson is the biggest, you know, his hair lit on fire and he had to be on painkillers for a while, long time. And then he was an addict. And then it got even worse and worse to the point where he couldn't even sleep. He had to take propofol. He was addicted to the fucking propofol. I mean, yeah, he didn't choose that lifestyle. He didn't choose that. But at the end of the day, he didn't choose to get sober either. So
what happened? I'm raising my hand. That's what happened in my case. I was in a near fatal car accident.
That's what happens in most cases.
Broke all kinds of bones in my body. Had to learn how to walk again. And if you guys have no idea what that's like to not know how to put one foot in front of the other, it's the strangest feeling in the world. Oliver, stop. It's the strangest feeling in the world. Okay. But because I was in a near fatal car accident, broke all kinds of bones, had to learn how to walk again, I was given pain medication. Obviously. And before I knew it, I was fucking addicted to it. Okay. Shyla says that her addiction started with a hysterectomy. She lost her grandma a couple months later, and then my cousin, then my best friend since I was 5, all within a few months. I couldn't function with the grief. Yeah. Hey, Chantel, how are you, beautiful? Absolutely, Uncle Eldon. Many addicts were pushed by their medical professionals buying into big pharma companies and lied about their pain meds. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, talk about repetitive. They kind of keep repeating the same thing. But yes, I mean, again, prior to 2010, that's what all doctors did. They were getting paid for it. And some are still being paid for it. But yeah, like back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, like pain pills were given to you like fucking Tic Tacs, like all the live long day. And it caused a lot of addicts. Seemed like it got really bad. And like, I don't know. Seems like, I don't know. Yeah, but I guess if it's not opiates and you get addicted from like crystal meth because you have like a boyfriend that does it and he just shoves the pookie in your mouth and you don't really have a choice, you're sucking on the fucking chasing, you're inhaling that fucking vapor before you can even fucking think about it. And the minute you do that, you're fucking hooked. It's not like pain pills where you have to take it for a long time and you get addicted. Like, no. With meth, it's like the first time you hit the fucking pipe. You had no idea how addicted that fucking was going to be. But the first time you took a line, no idea. Just talking about it now makes my skin like get all tingly and weird. Because it's like that racing heart feeling and that like, you know, it's like that. So, because I don't think Lori's on pills. I mean, she's probably on a little bit of everything. Oh, I've definitely taken I mean, there was a point in my 20s when I didn't have kids and I fucking did everything and anything to get high. I mean, I never sucked on Freon or did any sort of I never tried like getting high off of Suboxone. I asked my brother, what the fuck's wrong with you too? Like, why are you taking Suboxone? Like, he's like, I don't know. They just offered it to me, so I bought it. It was cheap. I wanted to see what it was like. I was like, don't do that again. He's like, I didn't like it. I'm like, it's weird. It's like, that's just weird. But yeah, a lot of people don't go through trauma, don't come out of trauma in the way of being addicted. Some people don't come out of, being prescribed a bunch of pills. It's what you have, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a dormant genetic addiction or something that comes out. It's hard to say. And that's what a lot of people believe. Even someone in my real life that has been addicted to opiates believes that if you're still taking the medication and you're not completely sober, then you're not completely sober.
Yes, Miss Lisa, I agree. I agree with that.
But you just got to admit what it is. And it's really kind of a sign of active addiction because she's not willing to be forthcoming about it. If she was really a recovering addict that understood that being on maintenance medication still means that she's still in active addiction, but she's just picked a better route, a route that makes her live a more stable life and not at risk of ODing, I don't think people would say anything. It's this gray area where she's completely recovered, but she's been on Suboxone for 15 years. That's where people have an opinion. And again, it's only because she brought the shit to the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, Missy. It's wild because it could be your own who becomes addicted. And would they tell them when to stop taking treatment?
I would tell them to get off of it eventually. Well, yes.
Maybe yes.
Yes. Because I would encourage my child to eventually be off of all being addicted to anything. Because that's just how I am as a human being. I don't think I think people don't realize how OD'd these countries, because Canada too, are on Tylenol and ibuprofen and there's other ways out there. And you know what? They're just not paid for by the prescription companies to doctors, so they don't offer that out to people. Marijuana is one. Okay, and marijuana is not maybe the best alternative, but taking a gummy or something like that can definitely help with chronic pain. What I was going to say, when I got addicted to pills for a hot minute, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was probably 25. My friend's mom, we go over there weekly, and she was going through cancer treatment, and she just had a huge box, and she'd be like, if you have a headache, go take something. I can't take any of this stuff. None of it works for me. It's too strong. Or it's not strong enough for it. And most of it was too strong for her. But I mean, she had 20 bottles of Vicodin, 10 bottles of Lortabs, a bunch of and she had a bunch of what is it called? It's literally pill form of morphine. Damn it. I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, let me see. I want to say doxycycline now, but it's not it. Dilaudid. She had a bunch of bottles of Dilaudid. And so I just was I took a Dilaudid one day. I was because I just knew that was the primo. And I was let's just take one. And all my pain was gone. And I was oh, I feel great. I went to the mall. I was feeling good. Never really ever been really interested in pills, but that shit was nice. And so the next time I went there, I was do you mind if I take a bottle of these? Because it really helped with I don't know. I get carpal tunnel. I think it was my carpal tunnel. It really helped. And I was do you mind? Because I can literally not sleep at night. And she was I don't take any of that stuff. Sure. Just make sure you're not driving around with it or anything like that, because it's not your prescription. And we knew I probably shouldn't be taking the pills. Whatever. She had a whole box of them. It is what it is. And eventually, I'm taking 1 or 2 a night, and then I go to start snorting 1 or 2 a night because I'm like, I always snorted Vicodin. Again, pills, whatever. Not really my thing, but I was a drug addict of all drug addicts. Like I would just do and snort pretty much anything. I didn't give a fuck. I love drugs. It was a fun fucking time. Let's go. So I started snorting it. And then I really started getting addicted. And, I was definitely like nodding out, being unable to sleep because the minute I'd lay down, my heart would pound. So I have to sit up. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing at all. But I was getting like full on addicted to like pretty much heroin. And then by the time the pills ran out, like, I don't know what happened. I think they threw away the box of pills. Or I think the dad found out something happened where she stopped having the box of pills. Like they got rid of them. Or maybe they sold them. I don't know what happened to them. Okay, but there was no more Dilaudid. That's all. Maybe there was only 1 bottle of Dilaudid. I don't remember exactly. It's very fuzzy. That whole time is very fuzzy. And honestly, I don't remember coming off of it at all. So in my mind, that means it probably wasn't very enjoyable if my body completely like blocked it out. But I came out of it, and I had a full blown like fucking like Dilaudid fucking addiction after like a month and a half of taking fucking a huge ass bottle. And I had to just go off of them and I don't recommend it to anyone because like I said, I don't remember it like at all. I'm like, yeah, I really blacked that part of my like existence out. And to this day, no matter, I'm like thinking right now, and I'm like, I couldn't tell you if I was puking, if I was bedridden, like, I don't remember. I just remember that it wasn't good. And yeah, so I don't wish that on anybody. It's definitely, and like, even if you have cancer, you can be addicted. You see it on intervention all the time. Grandma's selling her pills or giving her pills to her grandson. And then they both go to rehab. It happens. If you're at the point where you're sharing your pills, like, and taking them, you probably are a little addicted.
Here's that one comment that stuck out to me yesterday that I want to read to you guys. JJ says it's no secret that doctors and the pharmaceutical companies are directly responsible for the opioid epidemic. Yes. Yes. And I live in one of the hardest hit areas of West Virginia, hit by the opioid epidemic.
I think West Virginia in itself was hard.
Oh, and KK, thank you for bringing that up.
Like all of them are kind of.
And on top of Brooke saying these things in chat,
talking to just
Anzi doing these community posts, and then a fucking live stream. Kami Kendra did a live,
God forbid,
and said that I get high off of my MAT medication.
Oh my God. Someone said a few weeks ago, Amy kept bringing up how it is a proven fact that a lot of Southerners have accidents often have tapeworms. It was not tapeworms. It was roundworms. Okay. Did anyone else see that? I mean, this misinformation that this SZA says is just, that is not what I said. It's roundworms. I didn't put it in a post. It was just lives. And this was like weeks and weeks ago. Just saying. And there was proven evidence. Google it. And most adult humans don't realize that they sell like pesticides for humans at like Walmart. So I've never wanted to take them because I don't think I have. I mean, but everyone probably does. And like, I don't know. I've just read what it makes you feel like. And I don't. They have to put me asleep or something if I found out I had a tapeworm to get it out of me. Like, I don't want to feel that. Ugh. It irks the shit out of me.
Off of my MAT medication, she says. And anybody that knows anything, because you can tell that she obviously has no fucking idea. I mean, yes, allegedly, same. I'd rather see someone on maintenance meds than hardcore drugs. Absolutely.
Well, obviously, no one's telling. And again, she was on pills. She wasn't on hardcore drugs. But hardcore drugs, unless it's heroin, don't have maintenance medication options, really. Of course, no one wants to see anyone back on opioids, but again, like the whole end goal should be completely sober. If you can't achieve that and you have to live on medication like that, then so be it. But other people are going to have an opinion about it, and a lot of people aren't going to consider you sober. And that's just the fact of the matter.
She's so fucking stupid, Missy Tessa. But, you know, she probably got this from the drunk nurse.
No.
The one that
No.
spreads all of the medical misinformation about medication, right? She probably got it from her.
I don't, what? She didn't even, like, I got what? My information? I mean, my information comes from my own brain and experience. Of, again, growing up with being surrounded by addicts.
For the next 3 months, make it a habit. 10 minutes a day to get unrecognizable by June.
Hi, bitch.
Wait, what?
Hey, dumbass. Suboxone, bitch.
Suboxone?
Suboxone doesn't get you high, bitch.
Really? So your eyes are just pinned the fuck out because you're not on Suboxone? You just have that, like, natural Erica Kirkness about you? Like, do you not have a lack of emotion because of your Suboxone use? Because it does create you to have flat emotions. Like, it also can give you a lot of gum and teeth problems, which that has been pointed out about you as well. That you don't really focus on because I don't think you want people to focus on it. But again, it does not come without side effects. But again, at the end of the day, it's much better alternative than to be on opioids, of course, or hardcore drugs.
And that too, Geneva, yeah.
But you should want to strive to live
Money Swiper says
a fully sober life at some point, I would hope. But if you can't, you can't. And, like, again, no judgment here really about that part. The only judgment I have about it is that you're not aware that, like, being still on maintenance medication kind of makes you an active addiction, and some people are very much going to have that opinion. And the fact that you can't wrap your head around that is what bothers me.
I did the same. I have a metal plate with 9 screws and was on maintenance for a year and a half. Yeah, girl.
Crazy. Where your head?
Oh, JJ. Yes, girl.
Maybe it's not the fucking Suboxone. Like, I don't know. Wait, where you got a metal plate at? Hold on. Wait. I hate when I'm lied on too. Like, they're saying that I went live and talked a bunch of shit, but I went live and basically stated everything they're stating, that most of it happens through doctors and being in accidents, which I've reiterated here today. You know, that I grew up with addicts, that I've seen a plethora of different recovery options. Maintenance medication is just one of them. And it's, you know,
yeah.
I was relatively nice. I wasn't mean to anybody other than unless calling her powders. Sister.
And that was my whole point of the posts that I made Friday and Saturday.
Why would a medical professional say something like this? Talk about reckless. Well, I mean, you don't agree with vets like Penelope, who came into Deli's chat and reiterated that, yes, usually dogs are given doxycycline. Now, purely dogs and dogs alone, no. But it's kind of an archaic antibiotic to give a human. Now, if you're on government, you know, wherever William may go, that's probably a cheapest option. I had bronchitis and they prescribed it to me for, like, you know, way too long. It didn't do enough. I had to get a Z-Pack eventually. William needs to go shave the other side of his head. I'm not like you. The mods are getting William before you can even see what he's saying. Like, what are you saying over there? Oh my god! Shut up, Will. Wake up! What the fuck? Oh my god!
And then you got AMZ saying that I'm mad because somebody's giving their opinions of my personal life and my Suboxone, and I don't like that a medical pro, not professional, a medical pro is giving advice.
Well, pro is short for professional. Pro is short for professional. Is that better for you? Or like, gotta like, I'll work on it, okay? I'm sorry that I didn't spell out professional. Again, this is social media. It's not a fucking essay. But if and again, it was an opinion of a medical professional. She wasn't out there giving misinformation. It wasn't a medical live that was, you know, out there to give people information on Suboxone. She was just talking, and she mentioned you by name. So yeah, it was her opinion about you being on it for 15 years that's not typically good, and that's her opinion. I guess as a medical professional, but I don't think she like worded it that way. Again, she's just a person in the community like anyone else. You just want to use. You want it to be that she's running with. You want to run with it. She's putting out medical misinformation because you want to affect her like income or her job because something's wrong with you mentally. That's what you want to do to Jen. You want to do to that fucking Lori lady. All of those women who get donations because they're high and they're dancing on TikTok, you don't like that. And so you need to point it out. So yeah, you probably don't like, you're very like, I don't know. What you do, I would never do. Okay. But I don't normally judge you, but I can, like, and I am right now. Like I said, I don't need to go live for 8 hours. I'll be ending this way earlier than you probably do.
There was no fucking advice, and she wasn't giving her opinion. The fuck? It's the reckless, as JJ said, I'm going to take her word. It was her reckless medical misinformation on MAT medications.
That's your opinion. There's plenty of opinions and plenty of ways that you can put in ChatGPT. It's going to tell you the opposite. The internet will tell you whatever you want to hear. Like the internet. So, I mean, she didn't let. If you have a doctor that prescribes this, like, why don't you go to them for like some sort of clarification? You went to ChatGPT. I just don't. Tomorrow they will be at Timu Beige's regurgitated lies about me. They could easily correct. Yeah, she didn't play any of my live back. She just said that I did a live talking shit about her, which is not what I did. I did a live explaining exactly how I know about recovery and drug addicts for about an hour and a half and talked about my own personal experience with it and being raised by drug addicts. So, and the different options that are out there. And funny, recovery researchers say that Suboxone use in higher doses, more frequently, or mixed with benzos, tranquilizers, antidepressants, or alcohol can not only cause a high, but can be fatal. Huh. Well, that makes sense.
That's where it started, and that's where it fucking ended.
That shit's strong. I mean, if it was strong enough to, yeah, it's just strong.
Have all the actual opinions you want on me being on Suboxone, on me taking it long term, all the things, right? But the words that she put in that chat was not her opinion, and it was not advice. And that's why in my response post to Amzi, I told her, you don't know what the fuck you're talking. I'm glad she's sniping me. I'm glad she's fucking sniping me. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're someone who has just going off the little tiny box of opinion that you have because you're on Suboxone. You're not going off any factual information here whatsoever, or other life advice of knowing any other addicts. You just have your echo chamber of hateful monger people. Like, I know what I'm talking about a lot more than you do, sweetheart. Pretty much about everything. The fact that you know what? I'm not going to say certain things because it's going to be insulting to other people, but yeah. I got off multiple harder drugs without maintenance medication. So sorry if I don't find being on it that commendable. Sorry, not sorry, but it is what it is. They don't have maintenance medication for meth.
Period. You might learn something from sniping me today.
Yeah. We're just learning that, you still...
And that too, Shyla. A lot of... Oh, it jumped. I don't know where it went. Right, Chantel. If Suboxone helps...
Well, you're not supposed to drink alcohol with Suboxone.
People get clean, then go for it. Yeah.
Sure.
Had a cast from my ankle to the top. Oh my goodness, money swipers. I couldn't imagine.
Again, we said that plenty on my live.
Hey, Pixie Dust.
I don't really
Pixie
care.
Dust says, good morning,
Sophie
everyone. I just wanted...
But I do have an opinion, and I think if you're on a maintenance medication for 15 years, you're clearly not beating your addiction because you're still using maintenance medication. And if that's what you have to do to keep yourself sober and keep your life functioning, then so be it. I don't really judge that. What I judge is that she's not willing to accept that or accept other people's opinions of that. And she's attacking Brooke's job and career by saying that she's putting out medical misinformation. Again, she wasn't in a medical live or anywhere where she was stating medical information. She's just giving her opinion from what she's experienced as being a nurse. Like, it's still just an opinion like anyone else.
To say I've been on buprenorphine for 4 years to control my pain disease due to an accident in 95. Never felt a high in 4 years. She is so wrong. And thank you, Pixie Dust, for coming in here and saying that.
But you're taking it for a pain disease. It's different. First of all, you're probably prescribed a very low dose. Or, they're not prescribing you what they're prescribing people that are addicted to opiates. It's a completely different dosing system. So, and, any medications, unless it's completely life-saving, is going to have side effects that are going to affect your livelihood. It's just the way it is. Like, and there's a lot of people out there that believe in not taking any medication whatsoever. So, there are just different ways of getting sober, and it's not like that big of a deal that people think that if you're, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Anyways, let's get to this.
It's like these people are just saying these things because they don't like me.
No. Again, I personally do not care what you do. I just don't think that it's okay to go around and say that, attacking Brooke's career because she because she had an opinion. I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill, and you're trying to make a point that you don't necessarily need to be making about her being a nurse. It's like, why is that always the fault to? She's still a human being. She doesn't identify as solely a nurse. Just because she has names behind her name or letters behind her name doesn't mean that she walks into every conversation like that. Right. But again, I'm not speaking for Brooke. Brooke did come in my live and she was like, no, that is fact, and I have evidence behind it. And she probably does. She works in the medical field. She probably knows more than we know. I'm sorry, but she probably does. Clearly they know, there's plenty of that if you're a mechanic in the United States, we're so indoctrinated, it's not even funny. Do you know if you're a mechanic in the United States, you're not legally allowed to work on your own car? They keep so much information from us, it's not even funny. So I wouldn't be surprised if a nurse knows a little bit more about the detriments of being on something like that long term. But at the end of the day, she wasn't on like a goddamn medical like live where she's giving out information about Suboxone. She was in a chat where I don't even know why it was brought up. It doesn't.
I get that. I realized that after I said
like I said,
it.
I'm brought up in so many chats, even when I'm not being like, because I'm usually not covered, thankfully, nowadays. But I am mentioned quite a lot, randomly. Like I said, I'll start posting screenshots of it. Like today it was this live. Here it is. Today was this live. Here it is. Like, I don't think it's okay building a platform, Mike. I defended you on being on Suboxone. Right? They believe they're lying friends because they hate me, but she defended you. Yeah. And again, I haven't even really like attacked anyone for it. I just am a realist. And it's like, you have to understand that some people are going to still consider you a junkie if you're not completely sober. And it is what it is. People I did hard fucking recreational drugs, meth, coke, and all that throughout my 20s. I still smoke weed when I'm not pregnant. And some people don't believe that's sober, but I'm California sober when it comes down to it. And trust me, I guess that's my maintenance medication, and I'll probably be on it for the rest of my motherfucking life. And a lot of people would say, hey, you're 41, you should probably get off the pot. They can go fuck themselves. Probably should, but will I know? When the baby drops, I'll be smoking and toking, because that's what keeps me sane and makes it easy for me to function in life. Only thing working right now is the fact that my brain naturally has felt stoned for the last 6 months anyways, because I'm so loopy and tired. But I don't think even if it was recommended, I don't think I could do it right now. I still owe her $250. No Hobbit coins. None of the Hobbit. And Timu Beige. I like Powder's sister, but Timu Beige. I'll play the end of Powder at the end of this. I don't know if I really have anything else to say because it's gotten very repetitive. But and honestly, I honestly don't care at the end of the day about what anyone does online. And I get the criticism of Jen sometimes, more on the more recent things than I do get the older stuff. But if you want to be the archive of Jen, that is Jen Bailey, then so be it. If you want to archive every crackhead on TikTok that's dancing around in their chonies or slamming their coochies on the ground, so fucking be it. But I definitely don't go live every day, and I don't go live for 8 hours needing to point out every atrocity of a human being to make myself feel good. My channel is not based on that. And when I did base my channel off of that, it was reality stars, which aren't much higher quality or higher tier than, say, TikTokers. But, at least it felt a little less like they're really putting themselves out there. You know what I mean? If you put yourself out there and get paid thousands per episode, people are going to make live streams about you. If you're on TikTok and you're just fucking cracked out and you're dancing and you're ruining your own life, I mean, what is there really to say about that for 8 hours too? My God. Good morning. Bliss is Timu Beige. Okay. What's the other one? Terry Time called JJ White Noise. Her and her friend, they are kind of like white noise. Because they've been around since the anti-KJ community. I don't know if that means they were around during the whole when everyone was in KJs prior to they were either in Steve's or they were in LBs or they were in KJs, and then everything went down and then the anti-KJ community came out. I don't know where they were prior to that, but they were white noise then and they're white noise now. I do not care, other than JJ coming in my chat and being like, you need to give your dog more insulin. I'm like, ma'am, I'll give the dog as much insulin as my vet tells me to. Thank you. I appreciate your angry concern. I get you're Puerto Rican, but shit. By the way, there's a wonderful Puerto Rican restaurant that opened here in Tucson not that long ago. Didn't you say they don't have food, Puerto Rican food? But you're Puerto Rican? You were all white noise. Uh-huh. I mean, I can get that. Very much so. If you can make us all into white noise, then you're doing YouTube correctly. Because at the end of the day, mostly whatever anyone says about you should be probably processed as white noise. It's really that relevant. Like I said, if I posted every time someone said something about me randomly in a chat every fucking day, like there'd be a lot of motherfucking posts, and I might do it. I might do it. I don't pay attention when the big O's live, but I know I mentioned at least once or twice in there, and I'm like, sometimes it's the most randomest thing. Yeah, well, Ainsley's fucked everyone on the internet. It's like, this is about, and they're talking about something completely like irrelevant, like has nothing to do with that. Like talking about fucking Lita, and all of a sudden it's just like, and Amy's fucked everyone on the internet. Like, what the fuck is that in the chat for? Like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, I'm not arguing with you or like denying that I haven't talked to a lot of people on the internet, but shit. Challenge accepted, right? Like, Chris Hansen is drunk, right? He never went anywhere with those Onision victims and made people very mad. They float around mooching off communities. Yeah, Jen last night was saying that she thinks that she's not as hated and doesn't have as many hate viewers as John Yates. And I was like, no, I think you've surpassed John. Because John was like, if you think about it, it was like a small community. It kind of branched out a little bit to like Busy and Jolene. But there's like a gaggle of communities that cover Jen. So, just... And again, that's relevant how, and I'm just making, and I just make these random points because it's just like I see him and I'm like, but you come live every other day to talk about fucking Jen, and most of the shit you talk about Jen is really irrelevant and old. So it's like, I don't know. I'll tell your buddy Sophie I defended her on the Suboxone, Chris. Tell her. Kendra, you tell her. She's surpassed JY by far. As far as hate channels and people going, oh yeah. There's like one community that used to talk about John, you know, and it was like all his ex-mods and stuff like that. And when you introduced, like, I mean, these other communities, yeah. There's a lot of people who cover John that I don't even know exist. Some people have sent me the links, and I'm like, is this interesting?
They don't give a shit about the facts.
But you shouldn't be telling people to be on Suboxone for lifelong amounts either. Like, that's also not like that smart. Like,
yeah, Pixie Dust, yeah. Mama Goose says, my mom and my sister all died from drug overdose. At least I'm still here long enough to become a burden to my kids. I have adult grandkids. Yeah, Mama Goose. And I'm so proud of you for finally taking that step. You know?
Again, we're not dissing drug addicts for getting clean or needing maintenance medication. That's not what's going on here. That's not what's going on here. That's not even what Brooke was doing.
A lot to take that first step. Do you want to go potty? Let's go potty.
Mm-hmm.
It's illegal to drive without car insurance in almost every U.S. state, but there's one to try pretty much any time if you want to save money.
I know.
Not those sites because they're just scams, but
I am a lifer. She's going to be on it for life. And I'm finally okay with accepting that. I said, girl, never let anyone make you feel bad for taking a medication that saved your life. It's no different than insulin or blood pressure medication.
Okay, that's where, like, are you kidding me? So you think that there's no difference between a maintenance medication for opioid addiction compared to insulin or heart medication or blood pressure information or medication? Jesus, really? I'm sorry, I'm just flabbergasted. My flabbers are gasted. Like, so flabbergasted right now. Like, the fact that you said that, and that's when that's the point where I was like, I'm going live. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, so let's just go with like blood pressure medication or heart medication. Like, if you don't take certain medications like that, you will die. And for some and many diabetics, if you don't take insulin, you will die. If you don't take Suboxone, you won't necessarily die. You'll just struggle with addiction in a different way and recover without maintenance medication and maybe do NA or start taking Tylenol. I don't know, or maybe you'll relapse. And then I guess it definitely is going to heighten your percentages of dying, but it's not the same as taking heart medication or insulin. And that's really, really, like, that's, like, that shows the kind of mindset you have that's not clearly like recovered. You're a little in denial. So there's that. You should maybe try some sort of like NA online, like groups or something where you can bounce some of this information off of other people that might have gotten off of Suboxone and might be living a better life because now XYZ, who knows? You don't know. And maybe you'll meet people that have had been on it for 20 years. I mean, it's a spectrum, sweetheart. It's not.
I'm proud of you.
And no one is dissing.
She said, Sophie, I truly appreciate your kind words. I haven't heard those words spoken to me about being in recovery ever. Ever. Nobody has ever told her in 17 years that they are proud of her.
I mean, no one's told me in like 9 years that they're proud of me. I don't need accolades. I don't need chips. I don't need anything. I just need to be sober for my kids. Now fuck around and find out I get fucking like terminal cancer or something. I'm getting pick up a pookie at the next fucking smoke shop and we go and get some meth. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if I find out like I'm going out with a bang. So just saying, like, I'm not completely recovered either. Like, it's always in the back of your mind. But as long as I have little ones, and fentanyl is an issue because that also keeps me from street drugs nowadays. I mean, if I say I didn't have kids, I'd be too afraid of like ODing on fentanyl to go out and buy something off the street. So, but not everyone. I know a lot of people that were meth heads that are dead now because of fentanyl. Meth didn't used to kill people. People used to die because of poor like life choices while on meth. And maybe not going to the doctors or taking care of themselves, but I've really never met anyone that's like OD'd off of meth. Personally. And I've known a lot of meth heads. But ever since the fentanyl epidemic, I know a lot of meth heads that have OD'd off of mixed stuff.
For taking that step, getting on Suboxone, and saving her life. Nobody, y'all.
Yeah, again, no one is dissing anyone for being on Suboxone or methadone or anything of the sort. Like, at all. If anything, I wish there was more maintenance medication for other drugs. A cleaner version of like amphetamines, maybe they should give people, because I think a lot of addicts on meth probably have unresolved ADHD. Like my dad, for instance, was one of them. If he had been diagnosed back in his day as ADHD and been on medication, he probably would have never became a meth head. He was very functioning. Like, but that doesn't still mean he wasn't an addict.
She said, I haven't heard those words spoken to me about being in recovery ever. And the fact that you took time out of your day to tell me that you are proud of me legit has me super emotional and happy. Sorry, I know I'm a big sap, but it's just been so long since anyone cared.
I mean, that sounds like that's a sad situation because that person should probably. I feel bad for that person. So we're all very proud of you. They have Narcan dispensers on every floor here. Yeah, when I lived in Portland, I always had Narcan in my glove compartment because I would see people folded over on the fucking street. And I would circle if I was downtown. It was bad. When I first moved to Portland, it's gotten better. I think they have kind of reversed some of their drug laws because they completely made it. When I first moved there, they had decriminalized all drugs. And there was like a vacant mall in the middle of downtown that they basically were running like a drug like bodega out of. The entire mall was full of people just selling and doing drugs, and then they spill out onto the streets, and then they finally boarded up the mall, and they slowly reversed it. But I mean, that was a bad experiment. Okay, given that they were decriminalizing, they just do it on the streets. They did. So I'd see people folded over on the streets, and I'd circle until I saw them or someone scoot them out of the road. I'm surprised. There's a few times, I've seen a couple dead bodies in Portland. Sad. It's really sad.
I said, girl, I've been there. No matter how far we come, there are still people that still want to talk down on us. Imagine that. Recovery is a big part of my channel, even though it's not my content. I hope you start holding your head a little bit higher from now on. You are worth it. Hey, M to the B. But that's out of all of the comments and all of the little conversations that I had with people in the comment section of these 2 or 3 community posts, that's the one that stuck out to me the most.
Okay, yeah, we've kind of gone off the beaten path here.
And changed the subject. But Friday, it was a completely different story. Imagine that. Give me 2 seconds. Let me let these dogs back in. I think it's like 20 minutes. I think that's about all it is, like 20 minutes. And I sped it up.
Anyways, stop sharing. And again, chronic pain is a completely different option. Of course, and we said this on my live where I talked a bunch of shit. I didn't talk that much shit, sweetheart. Again, the days of me going live and really talking shit, kind of over. I don't know if turning 40 made me tired and just not give a fuck on a different level. That when I was in my mid-30s, I was like, fuck that word, fuck you, bitch, fuck you. I still pop off and shit, don't get me wrong. But honestly, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just talking shit at this point. When I was 35, there was a chance I might have rolled up. Now, nah, I ain't got time for that shit. Maintenance drugs are a godsend. That being said, the longer you are on them, it does become much harder to kick when you decide. Yes, methadone is a devil to kick after years of maintenance. No, yeah. Methadone also has a lot worse side effects. I know people have lost all their teeth from methadone. It sucks. But Sophie's content, at the end of the day, you're right, Kendra. And this isn't just, I don't hate Sophie. I have opinions about everyone, including my friend Jen sometimes. I have opinions on myself. I have opinions on everybody. Sometimes I state them. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't. But I don't think that just because Brooke is a medical professional, that every time she says something that you don't like, you're going to label it as medical misinformation. She's a registered nurse, and she should know better than to say this medical misinformation. She is just an active member of this community like any fucking one else. She is a content creator, and she can say her opinion on Suboxone if she wants. She is not giving medical advice. She is not stating that she's giving anyone medical advice. And she was just stating that it's not good for long-term use. And that's, again, from my point of view, is an opinion. And again, if she's stating medical research is behind it, there's probably stuff that we don't know, given that she is a nurse. What's your opinion of me? Give it to me. I actually don't have a big one about you. I know you like to stir up shit sometimes, which I feel that. And I appreciate it. But sometimes you'll just come in and say something and it's like, ah, fuck. And I'm like, but I have that tendency too. So I'm like, I like that about her. Like, always at the right moment too. Like, especially like, you really get John Yates going. Like, fuck you, Sarah C. Like, so nothing negative, even with a little bit of negative, like coming in at the wrong moment. It's funny. Sometimes you just gotta laugh, man. Ugh. Not about fucking, again, no one was laughing at anyone being an addict or anything like that. But that's what I posted the other day. If you look at her channel, she's got Lori in her underwear on her fucking homepage. That's a woman in active addiction. Like, and you have her in her underwear. I understand maybe critiquing her, but like, I don't want anyone in their underwear on my channel. She's got Jen in her underwear dancing. I guess you just don't care, but I'm pretty much like, fuck it, whatever. But you can also like choose what videos are on your homepage. You could get rid of that one. It's trashy, and there's at a point where I was told that my channel was trashy. And you look at her channel and it's all these fucking trashy ass bitches, and it means it's a trashy ass channel. I mean, that's the way the interpretation of, that's my interpretation of when I look at her home screen. And I know her channel's not trashy, but being littered with that Lori chick. And again, I don't follow that lore. I can't even sort of get into it. Not even a little bit. Exactly. And just because it happened before videos were taken, I mean, everyone has a past. If you live in any sort of glass house, you should not be throwing stones. Oh, yeah, he's my number one fan. But yeah, 100%. And again, my issue is that if you're going to be, and like that one person said, I can't remember who it was in here, they were like a newer account, no one that normally is in here. The Patricia, right here. Patricia said, Suboxone is a step, but not the final step to recovery. And that is a great way to put it. Yes. Recovery would be on nothing, in my opinion. But if your recovery journey requires you to be on it for a long time, then so. But again, people are going to have opinions. You talk about it on the internet, and then you get kind of heated. You do get kind of heated. And I really want to know what you think I meant by the whole Southern thing. There was Kira on Dudley's like last week, I think it was. And Brittany was up there. And I think Berlinetta or someone else was up there. The Slap or Berlinetta was up there as well. And Kira said something to the effect, I think Rochelle was up there too, that she used to have to talk to some of her certain family members that she had because they were Southern. She used to have to talk to them in a Southern accent for them to understand her. Okay. Which was fucking ridiculous. All right. So that is do I have to speak in Southern for you to understand me? That's what it meant. I don't know what you thought it meant, but that's what it meant. Yeah, she sounds angry all the time. You do sound angry. You do. I mean, even when you cover Jen, like you're always so, it's not like passionate either. Like Jules would get kind of passionate about Jen. Like, but you sometimes are like, I don't know, it seems like you're almost like her mammy or something. Like Jen's supposed to listen to you, or she's getting another live, put up another old video. It's just a little weird. I don't know. But anyways, my word. I've been live for an hour and 43 minutes, and I don't know how people go as long as they go, honestly. Let's see. In a room, people, I look for you. I'm into this guy Somber right now. So we're going to play some Somber out. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your week, and see you when I see you. I don't know what's going on with my
anyone else,
right?
I'm not the least compelled by anyone but yourself. To me, it makes me melt. I know you wanna see me help my life. I'm dealing with the cards I'm dealt. While you're dancing with somebody else. Is it always in your plan to leave eventually? Because to me, there's no one else that can make sense to me. The last and final possibilities.
I love the disco.
In a room full of people, I look for you. Would you avoid me, or would you look for me too? Tell me, is our story through? Do I want to meet you? I've never felt anything like the love from our final days. Why'd you wait to show me you can do it this way? Look at you, say we met in the Paris cafe. Say, can I sit with you? Como ça se fait, my mistake. If I known it would happen this way, I never looked at you, looked in the first place. Always in your plan to leave eventually. Because to me, there's no one else that can make sense to me. The last and final possibilities. In a room full of people, I look for you. Would you avoid me, or would you look for me too? Tell me, is our story through? Or do I want to meet you? Baby, I'm delusional, and the way you act is usual. Baby, in another world, I don't feel so unlovable. In a room full of people, I look for you. Would you avoid me, or would you look for me too? Tell me, is our story through? Or do I want to meet you? In a room full of people, I look for you. Would you avoid me, or would you see me through? Tell me.